October 18th will mark the regular season of the NBA with a pair of high-profile games. The Celtics will face the 76ers in Boston before the Warriors take the court against the Lakers in the opener. Fans are pretty excited, and apparently so are the players. One such player, Kyrie Irving, has already practiced that the NBA championship will go to Brooklyn this season. Let's get into it. First off, Irving claimed in an interview that this is the season of the Nets. The conversation began when Irving was asked how much of a winning championship would mean to the Brooklyn Nets. Seven-time All-Star said, "I'll have an answer for you around 6 to 9 months." The Nets are about to face a mountain as steep as Mount Everest if they want to fulfill Irving's prediction. It's alarming that the team's top three players, Kevin Durant, who won 55 games, Kyrie Irving, who won 29 games, and Ben Simmons, who hasn't won any games at all, still don't gel together. On top of losing LaMarcus, Aldridge, and Bruce Brown, Brooklyn also saw the departure of several other major contributors from the previous season's team. Despite the additions of TJ Warren, Royce O'Neale, and Markieff Morris, the team is still lacking. Even so, Irving might be right to feel this way if he prepares for the new NBA season. Granted, most fans and critics don't share Irving's optimism. Now for the history of the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets did have an illustrious career, so it isn't much of a stretch for Irving to say what he did. The team's original name in 1967 was the New Jersey Americans. Before the 1968-1969 NBA season, the New York Knicks played in Manhattan. When they relocated to Long Island that year, they became known as the New York Nets. Even though they made it to the ABA Finals in 1971-72, the Nets have never finished higher than third in their first 6 seasons. The Knicks had a huge turnaround after acquiring superstar player Julius Erving in a trade in 1973. With Irving at the helm, the team improved with 25 wins over the season. Irving led the Nets to their first ABA title that season, and he did it again the following year. The Nets had to fund $8 million before joining the NBA after the ABA in 1976. After trading away Irving to the Philadelphia 76ers, the franchise's luck immediately deteriorated. In its first 5 seasons in the NBA, the team posted losing records in each year except 1979, when it finished with a 37-45 record and made the playoffs. Coming up, the Nets relocated to Garden State. In 1977, the club relocated back to Garden State after spending 4 seasons playing on the Rutgers University court. There, they hired Larry Brown as head coach, as their previous one resigned after 2 seasons. To round off their team, they drafted the power player Buck Williams in 1981. Tough on the boards, Williams helped the Nets earn their first winning season since joining the NBA in 1981-82. Williams was honored as the league's Rookie of the Year for his outstanding play in the first season. In the following 4 years, the Nets also qualified for the postseason playoffs. However, they only won once in a postseason game in 1984 when they defeated the Philadelphia 76ers, the reigning NBA champions. After a 5-year absence, the Nets finally returned to the postseason. This was because of their dynamic young team headed by guards Kenny Anderson, Drazen Petrovic, and Derek Coleman. After losing the first round of the playoffs 3 times in a row in the early 1990s, the Nets team ran into a dead end. This was when Petrovic was killed in a vehicle accident in 93, plus Anderson and Coleman's terrible behavior and uneven play throughout the 95-96 season led to a near-complete overhaul of the team by the end of the season. Next up, we have the Nets in the 2000s. The team had only one winning season during the end of the 2000s, and they became the second worst team in the NBA. After acquiring point guard Jason Kidd in the trade in 2001, the New Jersey Nets saw an immediate uptick in morale and played much better. The Nets went all the way to the NBA Finals in 2001 and 02, and 02 through 03 because of Kidd and forward Rich Jefferson. Even though the Nets made the playoffs against the following 4 years in a row, their performance quickly declined to the point that the 2009 through 10 season was the worst in NBA history. Several owners have come and gone since then. In 2012, the club relocated from Manhattan to Brooklyn to better tap into New York City's booming media market and cultural prestige. After substantial rebuilding and revitalization, the Nets posted a 49-33 record in 2012. They were soon swept out of the NBA playoffs in the first round. Finally, the Nets had officially risen to the ranks of the NBA's worst teams. In 2013-2014, Nets had a slow start despite the addition of All-Stars Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce the previous offseason. They also hired the recently retired Kidd as head coach, but the addition of free agent Jason Collins on February 23, 2014 was a turning point for the team. The Nets rapidly became one of the worst teams in the NBA after losing Pierce and Garnett to free agency. This forced a rare coach trade that sent Kidd to the Milwaukee Bucks in the offseason that followed. The 2018-19 Nets' surprising postseason run came after they had given up several first-round picks in the 2010s in exchange for Garnett and Pierce. Let's look at the praise Irving is receiving from his teammates. teammates. Kyrie Irving has been at the center of numerous scandals over the course of the past few NBA seasons, so much so that people have forgotten how great of a basketball player he can be. Irving missed a lot of last year's games owing to his stance on the COVID-19 vaccine and some injuries. The Nets' postseason run was derailed by his less than stellar performance, which continued even to his return. After the 2022 NBA regular season ended, many speculated that Irving would leave the Nets in the offseason, but he stuck with the squad and is now prepared to alter the public's perception of him. Irving's supportive teammates Kevin Durant and Steve Nash have been singing his praises even before the season has begun. What's more, Nick Claxton thinks Irving can win the MVP award. When he's on the court and feeling good, Kyrie is undeniably one of the top players in the league, but can he be one of the best players in the regular season? Due to his injuries, Kyrie has missed a significant portion of the last 2 seasons, which were expected to be the peak of his career. Despite this, Nick Claxton is certain that the 30-year-old can achieve his goal of becoming the league's MVP. Even though Kyrie has been the target of criticism from fans and the media, it's encouraging to see that Claxton has his back. It's unlikely that Kyrie will be named NBA MVP in the 2022-23 season, but no one can predict the future, and Kyrie could end up proving everyone wrong. Up next, Irving had an interesting career. Before joining the Cavaliers in 2011, Irving was a standout player for the Duke Blue Devils in college. In 2014, he was the best player in the All-Star game and received the MVP award. Irving game-winning three-pointer in Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals against the Golden State Warriors capped the Cavaliers' incredible comeback. Irving asked to be traded after the 2017 NBA Finals, and the Celtics agreed. Before becoming a free agent and joining the Brooklyn Nets for the 2019 NBA season, he played for the Boston Celtics for the first 2 seasons. His team won gold at the 2014 FIBA Basketball World Cup and the 2016 Summer Olympics when Pau Gasol's stint at NBA PA Vice President finishes in February 2020. He'll take over the position. Currently, he lives on the reservation with the local Lakota people because he is a tribal member of the Standing Rock Sioux tribe. Finally, Irving is more than just an athlete. To promote Pepsi Max in 2012, Irving appeared in several ads playing the role of Uncle Drew. He wrote, directed, and acted in season 2 and 3 of the series. The Uncle Drew commercial series was turned into a skit in 2017. It took place in a traditional restaurant and included the updated version of Pepsi, which was displayed in a refrigerator with the brand's original logo. Uncle Drew has also converted into a feature film starring Irving and other former NBA greats, released in 2018. Irving has voiced a character in one of the episodes of the animated adult comedy series Family Guy, titled Big Trouble in Little Quahog. Lastly, he has a great appearance in an episode of Kickin' It on Disney XD, which featured him doing what he does best. It is obvious that Irving is a talented individual. Fans and critics alike are excited to see what he does next. While he might not end up becoming the MVP this season, he still has a lot of potential. But that's going to be a wrap for this video, my friends. Do you want to know more about Kyrie Irving and the Brooklyn Nets? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.